Part 76. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 751. Okay, Li Nanfei and Li Zifeng were not very interested. Li Chen led the two siblings to the middle of the room, with Li Chuanlong accompanying them silently. Grandfather, I'm going out for a trip. If nothing goes wrong this time, all the troubles will be solved, Li Chen said with a smile. From now on, our family will live happily together, watching us get married, and watching how long they will study and grow up and give you a great-great-grandson. Li Chuanlong smiled. I'm at home, you can do it? Li Chen nodded heavily. I have arrangements for everything in the basement. If I don't come back in time. Li Zifeng and Li Nanfei's hearts suddenly tightened. Don't worry, I haven't married your mother yet, I won't die. Li Chen stood up and said, I'm leaving. Li Nanfei wanted to chase him out, but was held tightly by Li Chuanlong. Dad. Li Nanfei couldn't hold it in any longer, and tears started falling down. You will come back safely, right? Right. You will also bring Xiao back, right? Li Nanfei asked while crying. Right. Then my sister and I will keep the house. Li Nanfei cried more and more sadly. I will be good, I will urge the uncle and others to fix the village, I will also fix the wedding venue. You marry your mother when you come back. Li Chen's eyes turned red and he said, okay. After saying that, he turned around and set off. Li Chen took a deep breath and let it out for a long time. Shwe, you gave me 4 children, how dare I let you down? After this battle, I, Li Chen, will definitely come back alive to marry you. Dad. Li Nanfei's howling voice came from behind. Li Chen didn't look back. He was afraid that he would become soft-hearted. Xiao Wu is still waiting for her to be rescued. Near the entrance of Jia village, 37 masters including Zhong Zhengtang gathered together. In addition to them, there were also 20 masters including Wu Chuping and Nangong Hichuo. This is all their own heritage. Now, including Li Chen himself, there are a total of 6 powerful people in the heavenly realm, and the rest are at the half-step heavenly realm and late-stage grand masters. Let's go, Li Chen looked at the people gathered. A group of people went straight to the capital. Fork. Li Donglong stared blankly at Li Chen and a group of people heading straight to the capital, his eyes turning firm. Go to Chengdu, Shen Jian pursed his lips and stepped on the accelerator to the bottom. Li Donglong wiped his eyes, determination and coldness appeared in his eyes. He took out his computer and turned on the Bluetooth headset. It's me. From now on, I, Li Donglong, officially take over the Li group. Everyone obeys my orders. Those who disobey can leave now. The chatter in the headphones suddenly disappeared. Now, Grandpa Yang has gathered all the resources. Since my dad has made other arrangements, let's be the last knife. Who is in charge of the intelligence team now? It's me. Li Donglong looked surprised. If she heard correctly, the voice on the phone was very familiar to her and she had definitely heard it before. It's you, finally, Li Donglong remembered that he had heard this voice in the capital. When did Dad start planning this? He actually dared to bring his opponents into his system. What if this information was leaked? Now I need all the information, Li Donglong said. If possible, I hope to get information from the Red Skull, the Celestial Sect, the Freemasons and the Fuzu Ninja organization. It doesn't necessarily have to be detailed, but the more detailed the better. He was relatively polite to the leader of his father's intelligence organization. After all, this person is not an unknown person in the capital. Perhaps, none of the families in the capital could have imagined that this person would be Li Chen's. Okay. But it will take some time. Good. Li Donglong hung up the phone and breathed a sigh of relief. Next, he will not be able to participate in higher-level battles. but he hopes that the arrangements he has made can help his father relieve some of the pressure. Suddenly, an undercurrent surged. Capital. Shepherd family. Mu Wenjia looked serious, and there were many people sitting in the hall. Mu Zhongtian looked at the latest news in his hands and said, "Everyone, Li Chen is out." He Runkai said with a gloomy look, "Now that you're here, don't go back this time." He Runkai had uncontrollable anger and murderous intent towards Li Chen. Everyone in the room looked at He Runkai with playful eyes. "Now that your He family has been divided into two factions and your strength has been greatly weakened, are you sure you still want to say meaningless harsh words at this time?" The Luo family on the side did not say anything. Facts have proved that Li Chen has grown to a point where even they cannot compete. Everyone, since Li Chen dares to go north, he is naturally confident. Luo Ang, the head of the Luo family, reminded, "This time, the Red Skull and the others will be fully mobilized. Do you understand what this means?" How could everyone not understand that it turned out that the major families in the capital were Li Chen's biggest concern? However, now that this group of organizations is at the forefront, families like the capital have to step aside. After all, in comparison, the major families in the capital are still slightly inferior. This time, Li Chen will definitely fight them to the death. "Of course, we can't do nothing," Mu Zhongtian said coldly. "Now, Muronghungs is the first to take action. I am afraid that he is, play mission, impossible." The other people frowned deeply. No one could guess what Muronghungs was thinking. Even the Zheng family was now skeptical. However, now that Muronghungs has taken the lead in attacking Li Chen, they can only tolerate it for a while. After all, if you take the lead in attacking Li Chen's family at this time, you will undoubtedly have to bear Li Chen's anger. The Murong family must still be hiding their clumsiness, and their own strength may not be weak. Once they compete with Li Chen, everyone will be the winner. From this point of view, Muronghungs is probably not in Li Chen's group. Muronghungs has made his attitude clear to us, so let's believe him for now, but we can't believe it completely, Mu Zhongtian said. Now Li Hoqiang's whereabouts are unknown. The Zheng family is sure that this person is not dead. If Li Chen and Red Skull fight head-on, then we must also be fully prepared to guard against Li Hoqiang and those scoundrels of that lineage. Now there are only a few people who know about the Li family in the capital. After all, the Li family in the capital has been destroyed for too long, but they all know that there are still people in the Li family in the capital. There are still people working in secret. This is definitely a big force. What about the inspection department? At the mention of the inspection department, everyone was stunned. If He Runkai hadn't spoken, everyone would have almost forgotten about the inspection department. It is true that here, the inspection department really has no cards. If it weren't for the director of the old inspection department who has been suppressing this place, and everyone gave him some bad treatment, I'm afraid no one would take the inspection department seriously. The inspection department cannot ignore it at this time. Zheng Wenjun of the Zheng family walked in. "Master Zheng," everyone in the room stood up one after another. Zheng Wenjun nodded to everyone and then sat down. "You should all know who was related to the death of the first director back then. Now this seemingly amiable old director is not a fuel-saving lamp. He has never given up on investigating the cause of the first death. Please remember not to be careless." The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 752. He Runkai frowned slightly and said, "If the inspection department intervenes." The faces of the other people also looked a little ugly. The inspection department may not have enough top experts, but it should have the most mid-level experts. Otherwise, so many places in the country would not be safe and sound. If the heads of the inspection departments of various branches come to support, it will definitely be a force that cannot be underestimated. All the forces of the two capitals and 13 provinces are combined, and any force may not be able to withstand it. "Don't worry about this," Zheng Wenjun said confidently. naturally someone will deal with their inspection department. Hearing Zheng Wenjun say this, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. They just hope that the inspection department will continue to play dumb, so that they don't have to tear their faces with the inspection department, and they can also worry less about each other. Then the Murong family. Mu Zhongtian couldn't help but ask, is Murong Hung sincere or fake? Zheng Wenjun shook his head slightly, this person's mind is too deep, we can't guess it, but, this time the Red Skull tried to test Li Chen, and Murong Hung's agreed to take action against Li Chen without hesitation, and also expressed his attitude. What I mean is, no matter which side Murong Hung stands on, or whether he has his own calculations, at least we have to do enough surface work, just believe him. In order to show his attitude, Murong Hungs took the initiative to take action against Li Chen, and even arrested Li Chen's most beloved daughter. This made Li Chen completely angry. Moreover, they all knew the video of Li Chen and Murong Hungs talking on the phone and falling out. Even they had to admit that when it comes to cold-bloodedness, Murong Hungs is still better. They can't treat their own daughter like this. It is precisely because of this that although everyone is suspicious, it is basically certain that Murong Hungs and Li Chen will fight to the death. In that case, let's wait for good news. It depends on whether Li Chen will visit the Murong family first or who else in this first battle. The capital. The Murong family. Murong Hungs lay on the recliner, looking at the dim sky with deep eyes. The entire Murong family fell into absolute silence. Until a figure appeared. You caught Xiao Wu, the figure was angry. Murong Hungs did not move at all, as if he didn't care. If we don't catch Xiao Wu, how can we show that we are in the same group with them? He asked back. The child is innocent. Innocent, Murong Hungs said, you looked like you could sacrifice everyone before, why are you so confused here? You may affect the plan. The man was silent, he was indeed a little confused. You and I both know that if we don't stand in line with them, Li Chen will never take that step. If we don't express our attitude, the last black hand hidden in the Jingxi family will always be hidden. It has come to this point. We have no choice and no way out. If we succeed this time, we will all be happy, but if we fail, we will all be finished. The man sat down slowly, Li Chen will kill you. Those who achieve great things don't care about trivial matters. Besides, you underestimate your son's ability too much. He doesn't want power or those false names, but that doesn't mean he really won't use his brain. You seem to know my son better than I do, the man sneered. Of course, I am half his father and half his opponent. Murong Hung smiled, I just don't know if you, his son, and I, his son-in-law, can understand our hints. If you really kill me, that's fine, anyway, it doesn't conflict with our plan. The man was silent. He knew that Murong Hungs was right. Don't worry, Xiao Wu is safe. After all, she is my granddaughter. How could I be so ruthless and cold-blooded? Murong Hong sighed, I am just curious about the truth of the year. Hey, you are a member of the Li family. Do you really believe in immortality? The man said nothing and rolled his eyes. Li Hoxian, you are really shameless. I have cooperated with you for so many years, and you still hide it from me. You didn't hide it from me, the man snorted. Murong Hungs. It would be boring to sabotage each other. Okay, don't come out. Your son is coming soon. Who knows what trouble he will cause when he sees you. Go away. I am the protagonist of the next play. The man turned around and left, but halfway through, he suddenly said seriously, don't die. Murong Hung sneered, but as he laughed, his smile gradually disappeared. He has already entered the chess game and even became a chess piece. Who can guarantee that he will not die? Sometimes, sacrifice is inevitable. This guy is still too kind. Patrol Inspection Office. The old director stood on the rooftop, overlooking the entire prosperous city. His eyes were full of pride. "Master, did you see that? Although I cannot guarantee absolute fairness and safety in the city, nothing has happened in these years. You said at the beginning that the original intention of the establishment of the Patrol Inspection Office was to protect this great land." The old director murmured to himself, "However, after today, the Patrol Inspection Office may no longer exist. Maybe the Patrol Inspection Office will become the only and orthodox organization in this land." His eyes looked to the south. If nothing unexpected happens, Li Chen will arrive tonight. As night falls, will Li Chen take action first, or will he wait? "Director." Zhou came over. He had lost a lot of weight in the past few days. The old director waved to Zhou and asked him to overlook the lights of thousands of houses. "It seems you have figured it out." Zhou nodded and shook his head. He still doesn't understand many things. "It's okay if you don't understand. When I took over the inspection department, I was as confused as you." "People are not born with it," the old director said with a smile, as if he was in a good mood today. Zhou pursed his lips and said, "Whether it's senior brother Qinglong or senior sister Suzaku, they are both better than me." "You? Why choose you?" Zhou raised his head and stared into the eyes of the old director. "If I said that I chose you just because you are mediocre, would you believe it?" Zhou was stunned. He doesn't quite understand. However, the old director stopped explaining that no matter what happens in this battle, Zhou is the right candidate. If Li Chen wins this battle, then most of the people who come will be killed in one fell swoop. From now on, the sea and rivers in China will be clear. Zhou may seem mediocre, but he is the most suitable person. The inspection department does not need ambitious people or expansionists. And if Li Chen loses this battle, the situation in the country may change drastically, but Zhou can also tolerate it. At that time, the inspection department would certainly not be able to establish absolute dominance. But Zhou has one thing that others don't have, that is, he will continue to work hard to maintain domestic balance and maintain the absolute position of the inspection department. Of course, he didn't say it, hoping that Zhou would figure it out on his own. "Go ahead and get ready," the old director smiled and waved. After Zhou bowed, he turned around and left resolutely. At this moment, ordinary people actually don't know. All the dignitaries and big families in the capital have banned their children from traveling. This night in the capital was destined not to be peaceful. At this moment, several people had already stepped off the plane at the capital airport. Li Chen looked at the familiar place. The last time he came, it didn't seem very pleasant. Of course, he wasn't the only one unhappy. "Everyone, go ahead and prepare as I said," Li Chen said to Wu Chuping, Zhong Zhengtang and others behind him. Everyone nodded in unison. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 753. Li Chen took a deep breath. The air in the capital was not as fresh as that in his hometown. He walked out of the airport calmly, and his spiritual awareness spread out. At this moment, he found at least more than a dozen people staring at him. As expected, these were all spies. Li Chen sneered and stepped on the ground. Diamond suit. This man is flying. Look, so handsome. Li Chen stepped on the ground with his toes, and the whole person flew up lightly like a feather. He stood in the air of the capital, looking at the brightly lit world, his eyes locked on the direction of the Murong family, and his figure disappeared instantly like a white light. There was a hot search in the local news immediately. A man took off from the air and disappeared in a blink of an eye. Is this the arrival of the era of cultivating immortals? Perhaps, this is a UFO that has landed in our country. I think so. I thought aliens were the same as in movies and TV dramas. It turns out they are so handsome. Many civilians are speculating about this man who flew out of thin air. Many people wanted to take a picture of this man's face, but when they took out their phones, they found that this man's face was clearly visible when they looked at it with their eyes, but when they took a picture with their phones, it was like mosaics were automatically added. This matter continued to ferment. Somewhere on the rooftop, the old director's eyes were always on the airport, and he never looked away until Li Chen took off. Seeing Li Chen heading straight for the Murong family, the old director smiled faintly and looked at the rest of the direction. It seems that everyone is watching. Suan Wu. A figure appeared, covered with green armor. Go, since they want to delay our inspection department, we can't lose our manners, you play with them. Yes, the man disappeared in the blink of an eye. Li Chen is coming. Almost everyone in the capital was passing on this message. They knew very well that Li Chen was coming, so this decisive battle was not far away. Murong family. The people around were cleared out. This was Murong Hung's order. Lu Lei stood in the Murong family's mansion, looking up at the moonlight. To be honest, he didn't really want Li Chen to come, because he knew very well that there was a great crisis waiting for Li Chen in the capital. Li Chen was indeed very strong, but his strength was limited. There were a lot of old monsters. Murong Hungs, come out and die. Just as Lu Lei's thoughts were drifting away, a scolding voice came from the sky. A young man in pure white clothes, emitting white fluorescent light all over his body, floated from a distance. Countless eyes fell on this arrogant and conceited young man. Even they had to admit that this young man had the capital to be arrogant. It has only been a short time, and he has reached the peak that many people cannot reach in their lifetime. Lu Lei's figure soared into the air, looking at Li Chen standing above the Murong family, with a complicated expression. Li Chen. Li Chen glanced at Lu Lei and said, "You want to stop me?" Hearing this, Lu Lei showed a bitter smile. He couldn't stop him even if he wanted to. He was only a late-stage grandmaster. It was pure death to stop a person in the heaven realm with this kind of cultivation. Swish. Another figure floated in the air. It was Murong Qingying. I didn't expect that this time Murong Qingying also broke through to the late-stage grandmaster. The Murong family, which can only be regarded as the bottom among the major families in the capital, actually has two late-stage grandmasters. To be honest, this background has already made many people afraid. However, all those who stared at the Murong family actually knew that if there were only two grandmasters, they would not be able to stop Li Chen. If Murong Hungs thought that he wanted to make Li Chen retreat with this background, it would undoubtedly be a joke. Just when all parties were paying attention, Murong Hungs walked out of the deep mansion with his hands behind his back. He looked calm and smiled at Li Chen in the sky. I didn't expect you to come so soon. Where's Xiao Wu? Li Chen stared at Murong Hungs below with a cold look, and his tone was filled with countless murderous intent. Lu Lei and Murong Qingying frowned at the same time. They have always had a shadow on Li Chen. A few months ago, they were not Li Chen's opponents, and now, they are even less likely to be opponents. They looked at Murong Hungs, and they still couldn't understand why their helmsman had to stand on the opposite side of their son-in-law. What's the purpose? Is it because Li Chen is now surrounded by enemies who want to kill him? You don't even greet my father-in-law, Li Chen. Is this how your Li family's rules teach you to be a man? Li Chen stared at Murong Hungs below with a cold look, and without saying a word, he grabbed Murong Hungs with one hand. Seeing this, Murong Qingying and Lu Lei sighed at the same time. If they could choose, they really didn't want to be enemies with Li Chen. First, they were no match for him, and second, they still felt guilty about Li Chen. Two figures, one blue and one red, appeared at the same time, blocking Murong Hungs. When Murong Hungs saw Li Chen attack, he didn't even blink, and he was a little too calm. Li Chen grabbed him with his palm without any mercy. Although Murong Qingying and Lu Lei were both in the late stage of Grandmaster, they were the top group of strong men in the world, but they were facing Li Chen, who had no way to advance in the martial arts. The big palm fell, with boundless pressure and terrifying pressure, and instantly caused a strong wind to roll up here. Murong Qingying shouted, stepped on the ground with his feet, and punched out. Lu Lei crossed his hands, forming a semicircular defense to block Murong Hung's behind him. In the darkness, many people sighed. Boom! After just 1 second, Murong Qingying's fist was shattered, and his body instantly crushed the floor. Bang bang bang! The floor exploded one after another, and countless stones began to fly. The strong man of the Murong family, under Li Chen's hand, both legs sank into the ground. And Lu Lei behind him opened his mouth and spurted out a stream of blood. His body retreated again, and cracks appeared on his defense. Bang! The next second, Lu Lei's figure flew backwards and slammed hard on the wall. The courtyard wall of Murong's house collapsed with a loud bang, accompanied by smoke and dust. The two great masters could not stop Li Chen's palm. This is the gap. This scene also changed the color of countless people who were watching in secret. Especially those great masters, they thought that even if Li Chen was strong, he was limited, but at this moment, they found out that they were wrong. The two great masters were defeated, but Murong Hung still stood there, fearless. He even had a faint smile. This can be said to be quite provocative to Li Chen, and even felt that Li Chen was not taken seriously. I wonder who will come to save you this time. Li Chen took a step forward, infinitely shortening the distance with Murong Hung's. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 754. What's going on? Is this Murong Hung's arrangement? No one can stop Li Chen. What is Murong Hung's doing? He doesn't think Li Chen really doesn't dare to kill him, right? Should we save him? At this moment, people from all over the capital couldn't help but be shocked. Although they didn't quite trust Murong Hung's, looking at the current situation, Li Chen was bound to kill Murong Hung's. What's more, Murong Hung's also captured Li Chen's daughter. If Li Chen's daughter is no longer in danger, then Li Chen can let go completely. But no one dared to completely trust Murong Hung's, but they didn't want him to die now, otherwise, it would be a waste of this opportunity. Li Chen's murderous intent was boiling, and the light around him was hazy, and no one could see his face clearly. But his determination to kill was felt by everyone. Murong Hung's looked at Li Chen, who was coming to kill him, and said, Li Chen, if you give me the longevity fruit, I will return Xiao Wu to you. Oh no! When Murong Hung spoke, the faces of the people around him suddenly changed. Murong Hung didn't even have the intention to dodge, and said calmly, although I caught Xiao Wu, I didn't hurt her. I don't want much, just the longevity fruit. If you kill me, you won't get any benefit. Once I die, Xiao Wu will die. Li Chen took a step down, pinched Murong Hung's neck with his palm, and lifted him up high. Are you threatening me? At this time, Li Chen's murderous aura surged, and his voice was filled with endless hatred and murderous intent. Murong Hung's was like a weak chicken, and his face slowly turned red when Li Chen pinched his neck. However, even so, Murong Hung's was still not panicked. You want Xiao Wu, I want the longevity fruit. This deal is a good deal, isn't it? At this moment, no matter which party was a little impatient. This Murong Hung's deserves to die. He's playing tricks on us. This old man is forcing us to come out and fight Li Chen in advance. At this moment, many families in the capital who were hiding in the dark and watching the show were very annoyed. They didn't know whether Murong Hung's had a backup plan. But at this moment, Murong Hung's was using an open plot. Everyone could see clearly how much Li Chen cared about his daughter. If Li Chen really agreed, Then what everyone had been seeking for a long time would become a joke. He, Murong-Hungs, had no masters to protect him, but could everyone watch him? If he died, Li Biwu would die. If Li Biwu died, would everyone still want to get the longevity fruit? So, Murong-Hungs couldn't die. He used his own life to bet that Li Chen would exchange, and also to bet that all the families in the capital must take action. Li Chen's eyes changed slightly, and he looked at Murong-Hungs a little strangely. He didn't say anything, but a trace of doubt rose in his heart. What on earth is this old man doing? He clearly knew that Xiaowu was the longevity fruit. Why did he say that he wanted to use Xiaowu to exchange for the fake longevity fruit in his hand? Others didn't know, but Li Chen knew it too well. The birth of Xiaowu and the others was planned by this old man. Even Xiaowu's luck was also facilitated by Murong-Hungs. If Murong-Hungs didn't know the truth, he would never believe it. But now, it doesn't match the truth he knows. Li Chen's eyes flickered, looking at the old man who was almost suffocated to death and still smiling. A bold idea came to his mind. This old silver coin, is he cooperating with me? Is he going to deceive everyone? Li Chen really didn't dare to believe Murong-Hungs easily, but everything in front of him was in his favor. Murong-Hungs was cooperating, forcing everyone to appear, and confirming the fact that the fake in his hand was the real thing. Murong-Hungs is dying. Do it. Can't let him die. In the end, this group of people decided to take action. It's impossible not to take action. Even if Murong-Hungs wanted to die, this was not the time. Old man, threatening me? I just don't believe it. Li Chen's voice was loud and his tone was still grim. I want to see if my Xiaowu will really die immediately if you die. Li Chen, you dare. Stop. Those who were still hesitant in the dark did not dare to hesitate. From a distance, they could all feel Li Chen's anger and murderous intent. This murderous intent of wanting to cut a person into pieces is not wrong. Everyone also knew that if they were in Li Chen's position, they would not be able to help but chop Murong-Hungs. This old man is really too bad. Li Chen narrowed his eyes, and someone really took action. Die. Li Chen's finger gently tapped Murong-Hungs' neck, and Murong-Hungs' red eyes brightened. Li Chen, you dare. The several figures who rushed out were angry. Just when Li Chen was about to crush Murong-Hungs to death, several figures attacked from all directions. Get lost, Li Chen roared, and slapped the air with one hand. One palm and three slaps, the shock force of the three palms burst out, and one of the figures was directly shocked to spit blood. Bang! Li Chen smashed Murong-Hungs to the ground. There was silence all around, and everyone was stunned when they saw Murong-Hungs, who had lost his vital signs. All this happened so fast that no one was even prepared. Everyone thought Murong-Hungs was well prepared, and everyone thought Murong-Hungs had countless tricks. However, when he really lost his life characteristics, everyone was stunned. All this was so unreal. Li Chen was full of murderous intent. He grabbed Murong-Qingying's figure, pinched his neck and said, "Where is Xiaowu?" Seeing that a powerful late-stage master didn't even have the strength to struggle in Li Chen's hands, everyone was alert and uncomfortable. Xiaowu is there. Li Chen's voice revealed a sense of madness. Murong-Qingying looked painful, and he looked at Murong-Hungs' body, and he hadn't come back to his senses yet. Murong-Hungs is dead? Did he really do nothing? Li Chen, calm down. Bang! Li Chen's index finger gently touched Murong-Qingying's neck, and then pressed him into the ground in front of everyone. Boom! A big pit was smashed on the ground, and Murong-Qingying lost her breath without even the right to struggle. A huge deep pit, surrounded by crushed rocks and soil. Li Chen looked at the figures gathered around him with evil intent, and his murderous intent was like a flood. Dead. Luoang and others who came were stunned. They had not yet accepted the death of Murong-Hungs, and Murong-Qingying, the old fighting force of the Murong family, was also dead. Is Li Chen really crazy? Too fast. Even if you kill a chicken, the chicken has to jump a little, right? Is a powerful master in the late stage of the master so vulnerable? However, Murong Qingying's body lay in the pit like that, with a look of fear to death on his face. Li Chen, you dare. Stop. Attack. No one expected that Li Chen would not follow the routine. So, when Li Chen was about to attack the last master Lu Lei, the major families in the capital could not sit still. The masters of the Murong family cannot die anymore. If they are defeated one by Li Chen, then no one will be able to play. So, when Li Chen was about to attack Lu Lei, people from all the major families in the capital took action. The immortal fruit is on Li Chen. Kill him and take it away in advance. Perhaps, there is no need to wait for the Red Skull and others to show up. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 755. Li Chen looked at them coldly and said, "You'd better get out of here. Li Chen, if you want to kill someone or vent your anger, we won't stop you. As long as you hand over the immortal fruit, we won't interfere with you." Zheng Wenjun came out. "Li Chen, we can guarantee that as long as you take out the things, you can do whatever you want, even help you find your child," Mu Zhongtian also said with a fiery look. "Li Chen, there is no deadly hatred between us. All you want is your child, and all we want is the things in your hand," Luoang said. Although he didn't understand why this man was not interested in immortality, he knew that this was the only chance. Looking at the faces of this group of people, Li Chen smiled. "If you want the immortal fruit, come and get it yourself." Li Chen turned around and still chose to attack Lu Lei. "Lu Lei, just tell me where Xiao Wu is, and I can let you live." Lu Lei looked ugly. "Want to say it?" "Ah." In the distance, a scream suddenly sounded, and Li Chen's face changed. That was the backyard of Murong's house, and the voice was from Xiao Wu. At this moment, countless people looked towards the backyard of Murong's house. Xiao Wu. Li Chen didn't even care about Lu Lei, and immediately rushed out. "Stop him! Damn it!" Zheng Wenjun and the others were furious, and Li Chen's daughter screamed. It seemed that Murong Hungs did not lie to them. If Li Chen found Li Biwu, then this longevity fruit would most likely save people. Li Chen looked at the people in front of him with red eyes and roared, "Get out! Li Chen, as long as you take out the longevity fruit, I said we die." Li Chen's cold voice sounded, and he turned around and killed Zheng Wenjun. But Zheng Wenjun just frowned slightly and stepped back a few steps. Beside Zheng Wenjun, two powerful men, Zheng Zinda and Zheng Yekan, stood up and grabbed Li Chen's hands at the same time. One hand of the two people was a palm, and the other hand was a claw. As soon as Li Chen's right hand hit, it collided with Zheng Zinda's palm. Zheng Zinda groaned, but held on. Zheng Yekan grabbed Li Chen's arm fiercely, and his 5 fingers were like hooks, trying to dig into Li Chen's arm flesh. Li Chen's arm shook and kicked. He didn't expect that the Zheng family actually had 2 people in the middle stage of the heavenly man realm. How much money did they spend? However, these 2 people were still a little bit frivolous, which meant that their realm was not too stable. Sure enough, the foundation of the big family is extraordinary. Although he had been mentally prepared before, at this moment, his heart was still a little heavy. Bang! Zheng Zinda's leg hit and touched Li Chen's foot, and the faces of the 2 changed at the same time. Crash! Zheng Zinda's body slid 3 or 4 meters backwards before he stabilized his body. Zheng Yekan's eyes were cold, and his hands grabbed Li Chen's heart again. "Get lost!" Li Chen was furious, and pointed out swords with both hands, and the sharp sword energy pointed to the center of Zheng Yekan's palm. Seeing the sword finger coming straight to his palm, Zheng Yekan did not dare to be careless, and changed his claws into fists. Bang bang. The moment Li Chen's sword finger pointed at Zheng Yekin's fist, blood gushed out of Zheng Yekin's fist, and the whole person retreated. And Li Chen also took a few steps back under the shock of his fists. Just when Li Chen couldn't do anything to these two people, people from the Mu family, the He family, and the Luo family surrounded him. Woo woo, Baba. Li Biwu's weak voice came, and Li Chen's eyes were full of murderous intent. Xiao Wu is not dead yet, she is still alive. Li Chen was anxious, but these guys were trying to stop him. Damn it! Li Chen's aura surged, and his figure turned into a flash of lightning, and instantly rushed to the backyard of Murong's house. Stop him, He Runkai scolded. The two masters of the Mu family, the two masters of the He family, and the two masters of the Luo family all went out. All of them are in the heavenly man realm. This is the true foundation of the big families in the capital. In the past, they were just small fights. If the two masters of the Zheng family are added, there are 8 masters in the heavenly man realm, although the majority are in the early heavenly man realm. But these 8 masters are not easy for Li Chen to kill. If it goes on for a long time, Li Chen may be killed in return. Get out, Li Chen's eyes were red, don't blame me for slaughtering your entire family. Li Chen, it's already this time, why are you stubborn, He Runkai sneered, hand over the longevity fruit, and we will let you go. Li Chen turned his head coldly and said, the He family will be the first to die. Haha, I don't know if my He family will die, but you are not able to threaten me now. He Runkai had boundless hatred for Li Chen. He Wangxia, why don't you do it, Li Chen scolded the night sky. He Runkai's face changed, and a female figure walked out of the dark street. She was also surrounded by strong people. Good brother, long time no see. He Wangxia looked at her sister with a smile, her face gloomy. He Wangxia's side was also full of masters. If He Runkai wanted to stop Li Chen, he would be in danger. During this period, He Runkai had seen clearly that if his sister had the chance, she would definitely kill him. What to do? He Runkai's face was extremely ugly. Once he withdrew his people, he would have no chance to get the longevity fruit. Damn it! He Runkai was very angry and shouted, come back. The two masters of the He family had to withdraw. He knew very well that if he died, he would have nothing. So, he couldn't die. He Wangxia, you traitor, where did you take your parents? He Runkai gritted his teeth and looked at the sister who was against him everywhere. Now, even his parents have lost contact. He is 90% sure that it is the sister who did it. Good brother, I am very scared of you like this. He Wangxia patted his full chest, but he was not afraid at all. At this time, Li Chen said again, destroy the He family for me. As Li Chen's cold voice sounded, flames shot up from the direction of the He family. He Runkai's face changed drastically and roared, Li Chen, you dare. Stop them for me. Li Chen pointed at the masters of the Zheng family, the Mu family and the Luo family. Wu Chujiang, Zhong Zhengtang, Qiu Lijhan, Lin Hongxia, and Wu Ying, 5 masters of the heavenly man realm, appeared at the side. Not only them, but also the other 8 half-stepped heavenly man realm masters such as Nangong Hongchuo stood up. Although Wu Chujiang and others were all in the early stage of the heavenly man realm, they could just entangle all the people from these major families. Li Chen's arrangement immediately made the faces of the people present extremely pale. They didn't dare to move at will. On the He family side, the fight began. When the 2 masters went in, it was a massacre. He Wangxia, are you crazy? That's also your home, He Runkai roared. This is the family business of the He family for 100 years. Home, He Wangxia smiled charmingly, where is my home? It's just a place where filth and dirt are hidden. He Runkai stared at his sister, you will regret it? Cooperating with Li Chen is like seeking the skin of a tiger. He knew very well that the family business of the He family could not be saved. Even Zheng Wenjun was a little scared at this moment. Li Chen brought many masters with him, and only the top ones appeared now, so where are the others hiding? If they attack again, what will happen if Li Chen does the same as he did to the He family? No one stopped Li Chen anymore, and Li Chen's figure almost arrived at the place where Li Bu was screamed in the blink of an eye. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 756. Zheng Wenjun and others could only watch Li Chen leave here. While they were annoyed, they also secretly hated Murong Hungs, the old man, for not being able to help. If they had held on for a little longer, this situation would not have occurred. In their plan, it should be the Red Skull group that came forward. Now, they have become the vanguard. Boom! Just when Li Chen was about to touch Li Bu's location, a long spear flashing with silver-white lightning power shot from the sky. Li Chen's hair stood up, and his body suddenly stopped moving forward. The long spear with silver-white lightning power fell fiercely on the ground, blasting a big hole in the ground. Li Chen looked coldly in the direction where the long spear was projected, and saw a figure looking at him jokingly. This road is blocked. The man looked to be in his 40s. But his eyes seemed to have experienced vicissitudes and seen through the world. Li Chen ignored him and continued to move forward. The man frowned slightly, and seemed very dissatisfied with Li Chen's behavior of ignoring him. The man raised his right hand lightly, and the silver-white spear inserted into the ground soared into the sky, with endless murderous intent, stabbing at Li Chen's body. Li Chen's eyes turned into indifference when he saw this. Looking at the spear stabbing at him, Li Chen boldly stretched out his palm and wanted to grab the spear. The man sneered, this guy really overestimated his ability. Die! The silver-white spear controlled by him suddenly burst out with terrifying lightning power just when Li Chen stretched out his hands to hold it. This power was enough to blow up Li Chen's hands. However, the next scene made everyone's face change. Li Chen's expression was stern, and a white light seemed to appear on his hands, and this white light successfully blocked the bombardment of lightning. This manic silver-white spear stabbed with terrible power. Even for someone like Li Chen, it was a bit difficult to control it. But, this did not mean that Li Chen could not control it. The spear pushed him back, and when he completely grasped the spear with both hands, Li Chen turned back and forcibly controlled the spear in his hand. Kill! Li Chen stepped on the ground, and a circle of ripples vibrated the moment his soul touched the ground. The ground within a radius of 3 meters around the entire sole of the foot was shattered and sunken. Li Chen held the spear and soared into the sky, aiming at the man who blocked him. This shot was full of murderous intent. Looking for death, the middle-aged man was also very annoyed. He did not expect that his weapon would be taken away by someone, and under the attention of so many people. The man crossed his hands, and countless thunder and lightning powers permeated his body. He was like a thunder giant, with violent destructive power all over his body, attacking Li Chen. Ding! Li Chen pointed the lightning spear forward, and the middle-aged man's fist did not give in at all. The moment the two collided, the violent lightning force instantly formed a shock wave. Li Chen stared at the middle-aged man with a cold look in his eyes. Without saying a word, he held the spear with both hands and suddenly pinched the spear. The middle-aged man looked at the rapidly rotating spear, which instantly broke his fist defense, and his face changed suddenly. That is, this moment of negligence was enough for Li Chen. The rapidly rotating spear was pushed out by Li Chen's palm like an electric drill. In this critical gap, the spear instantly nailed the man out at a speed that ordinary masters could not catch. Boom! The house of Murong's family exploded instantly under the violent attributes of lightning, and the middle-aged man was nailed to the ground by his own spear with a pale face. The surroundings have become a ruin. Li Chen glanced around, and it was strange that there was no figure of Xiao Wu here. Li Chen, who was clearly still here just now, swept his eyes gloomily, not letting go of any inch of the place. You again. Li Chen's anger surged, and he suddenly looked at the void. He sucked the spear with his right hand and shot it directly into the void. The silver-white spear, with a sharp sound of breaking wind and thunder, pierced directly into a certain place in the void. Buzz! Just above the void, not far away, a dark light shield appeared, and the spear could not be stored in a bit. And in the hands of this short and wretched man, it was Li Biwu. At this moment, Li Biwu's body was extremely weak, and he had no consciousness at all. When Li Chen saw the Xiao Wu, his eyes condensed slightly, and he felt something was wrong. This Xiao Wu seems. Li Chen seemed crazy, but he was always calm. Especially after contacting Murong Hung's, he became more and more sure that there was a big pit here. Although he didn't believe Murong Hung's, he could still judge some things. Li Chen is now very clear that the real Xiao Wu should still be safe and sound. Who is that little guy? This is so similar to Xiao Wu. If it is not the closest person, it will be impossible to tell them apart. Murong Hung's, are you trying to fish? Li Chen had some guesses in his mind, but he did not expose them, because if he really exposed them, it would not do any good to Xiao Wu. Even if this little girl is not Xiao Wu, he cannot let a little girl be killed in front of him. Murong Hung's was sure that he would not say it out loud, so he was so fearless. Li Chen, the shadow in the void, hugging the body of the fake Xiao Wu, smiled and said, "This little girl is so cute, do you want to watch her die?" Fuzang. The people of this lineage are always so annoying. Even though he knew that the little girl was fake, Li Chen could not ignore it. What do you want? Li Chen asked coldly. As Li Chen stopped thinking about crazy revenge, everyone couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. It's impossible for Li Chen to be calm, and it doesn't make sense for Li Chen to be crazy. Murong Hung's, this old bastard, probably didn't expect that he would make a mistake until his death. You should know what we want, the Fuzang ninja who caught Xiao Wu said grimly. Immortal fruit, Li Chen said. That's right. I can give it to you, but the child must be given to me. Li Chen thought about it and said. When they heard Li Chen's straightforward answer, many people frowned. Li Chen agreed so readily that they all doubted whether the thing was fake. How could there be someone who was not interested in immortality? The Fuzang ninja couldn't help but laugh. Li Chen, to exchange your daughter, we want more than just the immortal fruit in your hand. Our ninja lineage has suffered heavy losses, and you have to compensate us. Even the people around couldn't help but laugh. This is the right way. It is obviously not in everyone's interest to let Li Chen exchange the child safely. Li Chen ignored the Fuzang ninja and took out the rosewood box. When he opened the box, the spiritual energy rushed into the sky. The gorgeous green light exuded a faint luster. An unspeakable feeling surged in my heart. The desires in everyone's heart were stirred, and the spiritual energy between heaven and earth began to surge. Immortal fruit. As Li Chen took out the fruit, all the figures hiding in the dark couldn't sit still. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 757. Just like the Rat King was attracted, no one could resist the temptation emanating from the longevity fruit at this moment. The more advanced a person is, the more this is true. Li Chen held up the box with one hand and looked at the fruit that exuded a rich fragrance, as if he could live forever after just one bite. He said in a cold voice, threatening me. You are not worthy. The Fuzu ninja's eyes were full of desire and madness. This is the closest he's ever been to that legendary thing. Red Skull, Celestial Sect, Freemasonry. Are you sure you won't show up? Li Chen held it in one hand with cold eyes. Although countless masters have appeared around, there are still many people who have not appeared. Do you really think that I, Li Chen, pinched him at will? If you don't show up, then I will make a deal with them. Do you think I dare or not? Li Chen pointed at the man who was nailed to the ground with his own spear and is now injured. Middle-aged man. He knew that, as expected, this man belonged to the Dongfang family. There was only one member from the Dongfang family, who was obviously hiding something. There was still no movement around. Li Chen sneered and immediately appeared next to the middle-aged man. Dongfang Dehi, I know your Dongfang family is not weak, and there is no need to pretend to be weak in front of me. You, the Dongfang family, secretly bewitched the Gu family, and then secretly fanned the flames to prevent the Gu family and others from coming down. I remember this. But there are no permanent enemies in this world, right? As long as your Dongfang family can snatch this child back to me, I will offer you the longevity fruit right away. Dongfang Dehi, don't listen to his nonsense. Li Chen is sinister and cunning, you must not trust him gullibly. He won't give it to you. This is killing someone with a borrowed knife. There were roars everywhere, whether they were sincere suggestions or attempts to stop them, they all had their own agenda. Do you Dongfang family want to give it a try? Li Chen held the longevity fruit in front of his eyes. Dongfang Dehi couldn't help but take a deep breath. Even in the dark night sky, everyone could clearly see that he, who originally had bloody injuries on his chest, was recovering quickly. This scene immediately changed everyone's expressions. The longevity fruit seems to be real? Just taking a breath to recover so much. What if you eat it? Everyone who was originally skeptical about the longevity fruit could no longer doubt it. If Li Chen were allowed to continue to stay with this Dongfang family member, the consequences would be unimaginable. Li Chen, are you serious about this? At this time, a figure rose into the sky. This was another hidden strongman of the Dongfang family. Dongfang Qiang. Li Chen squinted his eyes and looked at the other person. In the middle stage of the heavenly realm, there was indeed a hidden dragon and a crouching tiger in the Dongfang family. The head of the Dongfang family should know that if I could eat it, I would have eaten it long ago, Li Chen said with a touch of disdain. Li Chen, don't want immortality, I only want my wife and children. This old guy Murong Hungs has been plotting against my wife for half her life. She deserves to die. She deserves to be killed. At this time, Li Chen was furious, with endless hatred for Murong Hungs in his tone. It's not like cheating, and it can't be fake. That day, Li Chen overturned half of the capital for Murong Shui and became enemies of several major families in the capital. Everyone saw it. He didn't believe what others said, but when Li Chen said it, everyone believed it. Li Chen, don't want to get involved in these disputes, but this old guy has put me in danger again and again. Today, this thing will either be obtained or destroyed by someone. Li Chen sneered with madness. Since Red Skull and the others are not willing to come out, then I will find another partner. As long as you help me get the child back, the longevity fruit will be yours. Of course, I have another requirement now, that is, the ninjas of this lineage must be killed. Dongfang Qiang's eyes were fixed on the longevity fruit. The fluctuation made his heart tremble, making him want to rush up and snatch it away immediately. But he knew very well that robbing something from the hands of a person who was at the peak of the late stage of the heavenly realm was really asking for death. Li Chen, you should know that there are many masters in the Fuzu ninja lineage. Then kill him. Li Chen pointed at the Fuzu ninja who had threatened him just now and said, don't tell me, your Dongfang family can't even kill this one. If that's the case, you Dongfang family should get out. At this time, Li Chen was crazy and arrogant. The head of the Dongfang family also comes and goes as he calls. His request was simple, kill the Fuzu ninja and snatch Xiao Wu, and the deal could go ahead. Otherwise, Dongfang family is not qualified for this transaction. He, Li Chen, is not really stupid enough not to take advantage of him at all. This is impossible. After hearing Li Chen's series of requests, everyone, including those in the dark, breathed a sigh of relief. If Li Chen agreed too readily, they would really find it hard to believe it. In this case, my Dongfang family. Just when Dongfang Qiang was about to agree, bursts of laughter came from the sky. Ha ha ha, have you already arrived? A hearty laughter appeared in the distant sky. The expressions of the masters from the Dongfang family all changed. Li Chen, this is the first time we meet, let me introduce myself. My name is Simon, the visitor is tall and looks like a pure foreigner, I am the president of the Freemasonry. What Li Chen and everyone didn't expect was that President Simon could actually speak fluent Chinese. Si Meng's eyes were deep and blue, and his gaze naturally fell on the longevity fruit in Li Chen's hand. With the appearance of this Freemason boss, the rest of the people seemed to know that waiting was not a solution, and it was very likely that others would pick the peaches. Amitba. A monk with golden light all over his body appeared. With the appearance of this monk, the last person, Kylan, the real helmsman of the Red Skull, appeared. This figure was not the kind of foreign blood at all. With the appearance of the actual helmsman of the Red Skull, a large number of strong men followed behind him. Kylan had a pale face and looked at Li Chen with a faint smile on his face and said, "You and your father are really different." Li Chen ignored Kylan's words and snapped his hands together. The longevity fruit that had attracted everyone's attention was collected by Li Chen. Everyone felt a little empty. Even Kylan, who had just appeared, had been watching Li Chen all the time. At this moment, he was almost certain that this was the fruit of longevity. Human nature is complex and suspicious. Even now, many people doubt the authenticity of the fruit of longevity, but just now Li Chen just held it and made them feel the magic and extraordinary. They didn't know what to say. Perhaps, this is a kind of fear of gain and loss. Li Sang, leave the fruit of longevity to us at this time, a Fuzang ninja came out. He didn't look wretched and had a straight figure. Although the Chinese language he spoke was a little awkward, it didn't sound so uncomfortable. Li Chen sneered, "Don't be polite here. I won't cooperate with anyone you Fuzang lineage." Li Chen's hatred and hostility were even more undisguised. This point, whether it was the Red Skull or other people who knew Li Chen, they all had a deep understanding. "Li Chen, will the cooperation continue?" Dongfang Qiang said. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 758. If your Dongfang family can do it, then the cooperation will continue, Li Chen said with a hint of amusement in his eyes. "Everyone, this has never been my goal, Li Chen, and I have no interest in it. All I want is her." The eyes of countless people involuntarily fell on the female doll held in the hands of the strong Fuzu man. Who would have thought that this female doll is the key? At first, they didn't take the female doll seriously. Mainly because they didn't believe that Li Chen would really give up the longevity fruit for this doll. But now, the other party really has no nostalgia for the longevity fruit and just wants his child back. Instead, Fuzang takes advantage. As luck would have it, Li Chen was threatened by the Fuzu ninja, and his temper grew. He didn't want to exchange with Fuzu ninja, he needed to exchange with someone else. He wants the ninjas of the Fuzu lineage to die. For a time, the people who were supposed to be connected began to have more thoughts on their minds. On Fuzang's side, Jia Hewan came out, bowed to Li Chen and said, "Li Sang, some things are misunderstandings." At this moment, Jia Hewan also wanted to slap the thing next to him to death. "What additional conditions do you want to impose? Don't you know how much Li Chen hates us? It's a good thing to make it so complicated." Now the Fuzu ninja lineage has completely lost hope. But he couldn't give up, let alone kill this little girl out of hatred. Murong Hung's overconfidence led to his tragic death, which forced them to pay attention. They in the Fuzang lineage must ensure that the little girl cannot die. Once she dies, if Li Chen doesn't go crazy, these people will go crazy. They have been planning and pursuing for most of their lives, and they have been waiting for this moment. If everyone's hope was cut off because of the death of a little girl, the Fuzu family could not afford such anger. Even if they knew that Li Chen was going to kill their Fuzu ninjas openly, they still had to protect this little girl. All the major families in the capital sneered from the sidelines. Now, they are facing off against Li Chen's people, but everything is fine. The choice falls to these really big organizations. Should they choose to kill Li Chen now and steal the longevity fruit, or kill the Fuzang master and exchange it with Li Chen? In fact, judging from the current situation, Li Chen is at an absolute disadvantage. Even though Li Chen came with many experts, there were no helpers from the heavenly realm. They are all powerful masters. No matter how many there are, they can only entangle 4 or 5 heavenly beings. But now, there are so many of us. Of course, there are not many people here in Fuzu. However, they are all top-notch existences. Even if they can't be beaten, their ability to escape is top-notch. In short, how to choose is also a big trouble. Dongfang Qiang looked at the other forces and said, "Everyone, I hope to give my Dongfang family some face." No one paid any attention to him. So what if Li Dongfang's family has 2 heavenly beings? Who here doesn't have some knowledge? Li Chen, have you ever thought about what would happen if we didn't agree to your request? Master Kongan from the Tianshen sect said. Li Chen's eyes fell on the bald monk playfully, and he smiled coldly and said, "If you don't agree, then fine, the Tianshen sect will be the next Fuzang." He looked around and said, "I, Li Chen, dare to come here, how can I not have any support? You want to kill me, see who will die first, or the longevity fruit will break first." Everyone's expressions changed. Master Nakongan's face also looked a little unnatural. "How dare you, an old man, threaten me here? What I hate most is the Fuzang lineage, and secondly, you monks who talk about the failure of all 4 things." Li Chen's anger emerged and he said coldly, "Everyone, please withdraw. Zheng Wenjun, don't blame me for not giving you a chance to be part of the capital. I, Li Chen, have a big grudge against you, but under certain circumstances, I would rather be killed, you get it?" Zheng Wenjun and others had complicated expressions, and after listening to Li Chen's words, their hearts became hot again. "I will give you a chance now. Of course, you can also refuse. If you kill this bald donkey, I will give you the longevity fruit." Li Chen's words made everyone present change their expressions again. Everyone can see that Li Chen is using the longevity fruit to play a conspiracy openly. Fuzang offended him, so he found someone to deal with Fuzang. The old monk was not friendly to him, so he found someone to deal with the old monk. Will the major families in the capital do it? Most likely it will. This is an opportunity. No one can and no one is willing to give up this opportunity. All the monks of the Tianshen sect looked very ugly. They did not expect that Li Chen was a complete madman. Li Chen held the box in his hand, which affected everyone's nerves. "I don't like procrastination. If we can't do it before dawn, then we will be finished together. As for breaking the shackles of the heaven and human realm, don't even think about it in this life. There is silence between heaven and earth. Everyone is weighing the pros and cons. Li Chen is forcing everyone." Dongfang Qiang sighed and said, "The Dongfang family only takes action against Fuzu ninjas. If you want to interfere in this matter, everyone in my Dongfang family will kill you at the cost of death." This is Dongfang Qiang's warning, which can also be said to be a threat. Are there only 2 heavenly beings in the Dongfang family? Who can be sure? They suspected that the Dongfang family had at least 3 heavenly beings. If the 3 heaven realm masters fight, even the Red Skull cannot bear the loss. He Runkai and others all looked at Zheng Wenjun. What should they choose now? Should they take action against the monks of the Heavenly God sect, or sit and continue to watch the show? If they do not take action, the longevity fruit is very likely to fall into the hands of the Dongfang family. As long as the Dongfang family gets the longevity fruit, they will break the shackles between heaven and earth at the moment of swallowing it. Even if the Dongfang family dies, it is worth it. Of course, not everyone believes that the longevity fruit will definitely break the shackles. If it can, Li Chen should be able to swallow it. So, there must be something hidden in it. However, even if the shackles cannot be broken, no one will choose to give up the item of immortality alone. Do you want to take action? Luoyang couldn't help asking. Even though they knew that in the end it was very likely that only one person could live forever, but before they got it, everyone was an ally. Mu Zhongtian also looked at Zheng Wenjun. At present, their group is still dominated by the Zheng family. Zheng Wenjun's face changed constantly, and he was weighing the pros and cons in his heart. This requires gambling, but there are too many uncertainties. Although everyone wants to wait and see, what if it is too late? Will Li Chen let this situation happen? Mr. Zheng. Rob, Zheng Wenjun couldn't help but said. Kill the talkative monk, Zheng Wenjun said, remember, only kill him, let's not cause more trouble. Although Li Chen is shameless and cunning, they have to admit that Li Chen is very honest even with his opponents. If he says he will definitely give. This is also where no one dares to gamble. Just like this time, many people bet that Li Chen will not come and will give up a child. He came. Another example is Murong Hung's, he also lost the bet. Li Chen cannot be speculated by common sense. Amitabha, fellow donors, please do not be deceived by this person, Master Kong'an clasped his hands together and advised. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 759. The monk Kong'an of the Heavenly God sect was a little unhappy. Why did this group of people trust Li Chen so much? Can't you see that this is Li Chen's conspiracy? He is openly dividing everyone. Old bald donkey, you are the only one who talks too much. Zheng Wenjun snorted coldly. Now everyone is forced to do something. If the Beijing lineage does not take action, then there will be no chance. What's more, Li Chen is a man of many minds and cautious. It is not worth it for them to offend Li Chen to death now. Zheng Wenjun also has his own calculations and can completely break up with Li Chen, but not now. Among the forces, the people of their Beijing lineage are not the strongest, but not the weakest. At this time, choosing the bald donkey of the Heavenly God sect to fight can also avoid a lot of trouble. It is better to find an opponent than to stay aside. If Li Chen plays any tricks, he should think of dealing with people who are doing nothing around. Zheng Wenjun immediately led his men to attack Kong'an of the Heavenly God section. At this moment, they thought that they were being plotted against by Li Chen. Perhaps, Li Chen could bring out more monsters. Zheng Zinda and Zheng Yekan immediately attacked monk Kong'an. They were both in the middle stage of the Heavenly Man realm. Even if they were no match for this monk, they would not be killed immediately. Mu Zhongtian and Mu Wenjia looked at each other and immediately asked the two masters of the Mu family, Mu Renaiu and Mu Wenduan, to attack. One of them was in the middle stage of the Heavenly Man realm, and the other was in the early stage of the Heavenly Man realm. They were both real strong men. Mu family, are you really going to attack? Kong'an of the Heavenly God sect saw these two people rushing out, and his face suddenly changed. Although he was in the late stage of the Heavenly Man realm, he was not invincible. It is not difficult to fight 1 against 2 without losing the upper hand, but it is very difficult to fight 1 against 4. If you are not careful, you may be killed. Amitabha. As Master Kong'an spoke, 3 mages on the side also stood up. As soon as the 2 masters of the Mu family stood up, they were blocked by Master Kong'an's junior brother Master Rugjun, who was also fighting 1 against 2. Another mid-stage Tianren realm. At this moment, whether it was Li Chen or the major families in the capital, their faces sank. This Tianshen sect is indeed unfathomable. He Runkai and Luoang of the Luo family looked at each other, and the masters of the 2 families also came out in full force. 4 Tianren realms. As their masters stepped out, 3 more people from the Tianshen sect came out. One was the repair mage in the middle stage of the Tianren realm, and the other 2 were Master Wen Luo and Vinyan in the early stage of the Tianren realm. Seeing the last 2, everyone in the capital was slightly relieved. If the Tianshen sect did not even have 1 person in the early stage of the Tianren realm, it would be really terrible. But even so, a Tianshen sect has already restrained almost all the forces in the capital that are on the surface. This is not good news for everyone. Zheng Wenjun, Mu Wenjia, and He Runkai all looked a little unhappy. Now that the manpower is dispersed, this is a problem. It may not be possible to kill Master Kongan in the first place. More importantly, Master Kongan is in the late stage of the Heavenly Man realm. To kill him, at least 4 or more people are needed. Do we need to transfer people? What should we do? He Runkai asked. He also saw that the situation was in a state of balance at this time. To break this state, there must be a breakthrough. Either kill the 2 early Heavenly Man realm people of the Heavenly God sect, so that we can free up our hands to deal with Kongan. Or, simply don't kill anyone. Wait, Zheng Wenjun said with a gloomy look, Li Chen didn't say to kill immediately, and besides, how can a late Heavenly Man realm person die so easily? They want to see how Li Chen will deal with this battle next. After all, his strength, Li Chen, is also on the surface. In addition to the Heavenly God sect being restrained, Fuzu is also restrained here. Dongfang Qiang and Dongfang Dehi of the Dongfang family went straight to Fuzu. There are many masters on the Fuzu side. And the one who caught Li Biwu is always one person. He will not hand over Li Biwu now. If he does, he will probably die immediately. If he doesn't, he may still have a chance to survive. Dongfang Qiang and Dongfang Dehi started to chase without saying a word. Seeing this, Koga couldn't help but sigh. He really couldn't call on Fuzu's masters to come together, because he knew very well that as the first echelon of the capital, there must be more than 2 masters. If he and the people around him attack together, then the hidden power of the entire Dongfang family may rush over. This is not what he wants to see. Li Chen is obviously using an open conspiracy, but no one can do anything. The Dongfang family must take down the Fuzu master who caught Li Biwu, but Fuzu can't let its own people die. Forced to fight? And Fuzu can't take action either. If it does, the Dongfang family will also be unhappy and unwilling to see it. So, at this moment, although the Dongfang family and the Fuzu ninja did not say a word, they reached a tacit agreement. Everyone has a backup plan, which is reserved for the decisive battle, so it is better not to get serious. So, the Dongfang family and Fuzu also tacitly maintained a consensus and reached a certain balance. As long as the Fuzu ninja Takano Hideki is not dead, the balance will not be broken. As long as the Dongfang family is not stupid, everyone can win. At this moment, the only ones left here are the masters of Li Chen's side, the Red Skull and the Freemasons. Li Chen looked around and finally landed on all the members of the Freemasonry. This time, they are all in the Heavenly Man realm. Grand Masters and those below will not come, nor will they participate in the war. Most of the endings of coming here are death. Rather than this, it is better to stay in their own territory. The Freemasonry has 5 great masters, and each of them is not weak. And the Red Skull should have the most, and there are actually 10 people at the moment. This also means that the Red Skull's foundation is actually the deepest. If Li Chen guessed correctly, then the Red Skull had killed 3 Heavenly Man realm masters before, and counting the Rat King who did not die, there are 14. Even Li Chen couldn't help but feel a little scared. How could the Red Skull be so powerful? Other forces, at most 5 or 6 heavenly man-realm masters are amazing, how could they have 14? Could it be that their accumulation has reached this level in the past 120 years? Or is it that the main members of the Red Skull are the last 20% of masters that the ancestor did not kill at the beginning? It seems that only this can explain it. Li Chen looked at the people from the Freemasonry and said, Wu Chuping, Zhang Jingtang, they are handed over to you. There are 5 members of the Freemasonry, 2 in the late stage, 1 in the middle stage and 2 in the early stage. Li Chen has only 5 people in the heavenly man realm, all of whom are in the early stage of the heavenly man realm. There are also 12 people in the half-step heavenly man realm, and the rest are grandmasters. Wu Chuping and others smiled bitterly. The 5 heavenly man realm people can only deal with the 5 people from the Freemasonry separately. 3 people in the early stage of the heavenly man realm with 5 people in the half-step heavenly man realm may be able to barely entangle 1 person in the late stage of the heavenly man realm. The remaining 2 people in the early stage of the heavenly man realm need to bring 7 people in the half-step heavenly man realm to entangle another person in the late stage of the heavenly man realm, Abraham. After entangled the Freemasonry President Simon and Vice President Abraham, the remaining nearly 40 Grandmasters chose to deal with Alex in the middle stage of the heavenly man realm, and Andrew and Anthony, 2 people in the early stage of the heavenly man realm. Even though Alex was in the middle stage of the heavenly man realm, he felt his scalp tingling when he saw the 12 masters in the late stage. Andrew and Anthony were relieved because there were only 8 masters to deal with them. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 760. That is to say, out of nearly 40 masters, 28 were restrained by these 3 people. There were only 12 masters left. If Li Chen wanted to deal with Red Skull, it was undoubtedly a foolish dream. Li Chen was only in the late stage of heavenly man realm. Even if he could fight too, he could only restrain the Red Skull sect master Kailan and deputy sect master Xianshang. But he had no way to deal with the remaining 4 elders and the 4 guardians among the remaining 8 guardians. Among the 4 guardians, only 1 was in the middle stage of heavenly man realm, and the rest were in the early stage of heavenly man realm. And the remaining 12 masters on Li Chen's side could only entangle 3 in the early stage of heavenly man realm at most. On the Red Skull side, there were still 5 in the middle stage of heavenly man realm left, which was impossible to fight. What's more, although Li Chen said that he wanted to kill Fuzang and the talkative monk, he actually couldn't kill them. Because whether it was the masters of the capital lineage or Fuzang and the heavenly god sect, they had reached a certain delicate balance. They will not break this balance by themselves. Once Li Chen is likely to fall, perhaps this group of people will rush over immediately and deal with him together. Of course, the premise is that the longevity fruit is taken away. Kailan Genren looked at Li Chen with a smile in his eyes. Li Chen, I know you still have a lot of hidden tricks, why not take them out at once? My Red Skull masters are all here. Since you asked us to come, you can't expect this group of people to kill us, right? The only ones who haven't taken action here are the members of the Red Skull. But Li Chen can't deal with it. Li Chen looked at Kailan with complicated eyes and said, your Red Skull masters are far beyond my expectations. Really? Kailan looked at Li Chen with a playful look. As for whether he believed Li Chen's words or not, only he knew. At this moment, although many masters have already fought, everyone's eyes are always on Li Chen. He is the final key. Li Chen glanced at the 12 masters around him. Obviously, these few were not enough. Go, play with them, Kailan said to the 3 early heavenly realm masters among the 8 guardians. The Sheep King smiled and hooked his finger at the masters on Li Chen's side, with a playful look on his face. As the Sheep King walked out, the Monkey King and the Pig King also walked out. Li Chen glanced at the 12 masters around him and immediately said, go, be careful. The 12 masters rushed out immediately. Even if they couldn't kill the guys on the opposite side, they had to entangle them. The people of the Red Skull were not in a hurry at all. They seemed to be waiting for Li Chen to break the deadlock. But the question is, does Li Chen have any trump cards? Li Chen, if this is all you have, then you are looking for death by gathering us this time. Xian Shang, the deputy master of the Red Skull, said lightly. Li Chen was so vigilant that he could always escape danger. If they said it was luck, they didn't believe it. Li Chen smiled and said, I knew I couldn't hide it from you. Emojias hung, as Li Chen spoke. Emojias hung, who was hiding farther away, soared into the air. Behind him, there were actually 50 or 60 people hiding, but these people's cultivation was generally not very high, and the strongest was only at the early stage of the Grand Master level. The rest were mostly below the Grand Master level. Seeing Emojias hung appear with this group of people, the major families in the capital frowned. What is this Li Chen doing? Letting a group of ants out, what can be changed except to die? Or has Li Chen already made a desperate bet? Li Chen had a faint smile on his face, and ignored the surprise of the group of people. It's your turn next, Li Chen said to Emojias hung. Yes, the 50 or 60 strong men led by Emojias hung suddenly disappeared from the sky and headed straight for the major families in the capital. Li Chen, do you want to die? Zheng Wenjun and others were furious. Although Emojiashan's group of people are all extremely vicious, once they break in, they will cause great trouble. The major families still retain the masters, but the masters can't handle the large number of people. So many masters will kill them unless there is a Tianren realm in charge. Is Li Chen crazy? You let us contain Fuzang and Tianshen sect, and you turn around and attack us? Even if it is a fallout, isn't it too fast? Everyone's brains are turning rapidly, and they really can't figure out what Li Chen wants to do. However, just when everyone's mind was scattered, Li Chen took a step forward and his body had already landed in the Red Skull's camp. His hands were like claws, grabbing the last guardian Wu Ma Wang in the middle stage of the Tianren realm. Wu Ma Wang's face changed. Although he was in the middle stage of the Tianren realm, he really didn't dare to underestimate Li Chen. The number of Tianren realm who died in Li Chen's hands has long exceeded the number of hands. Bang! A shield appeared around Wu Ma Wang, and at the same time, he quickly distanced himself. In his camp, he still didn't believe that he would die. The fact was indeed so, Li Chen's sneak attack did not succeed at all. Li Chen, you still want to sneak attack us when we are in this situation? Kailan Genren frowned slightly, he felt that Li Chen was abnormal and scary. However, just after Kailan Genren finished speaking, a death-like threat surged into his heart. Be careful! He roared at all the members of the Red Skull. At that moment, the hair of the Red Skull stood up. A long sword slashed through the air. The sharp blade light illuminated the entire sky, as if it were daytime. The sword energy was surging, shaking the void, with unparalleled killing intent. A light shield surged around Kailan Genren, and his eyes were extremely gloomy as he stared at the figure who slashed the sword. Boom! Kailan punched out, the fist was torn, and it collided with the sword light and shattered in an instant. Starlight filled the sky, and Kailan couldn't help but take a step back slightly. Longzhan! Countless eyes looked at the figure of the old man walking in the distance. At this moment, the faces of the masters of various forces changed one after another. Longzhan! The current director of the inspection department is also a real ruthless man who has maintained domestic peace for nearly 100 years. Unfortunately, he didn't make a move again 50 years ago. So, no one knows how strong he is. Until today's sword, everyone realized that this old guy's cultivation has improved further. This is definitely not the oppression that a person in the late heavenly man realm should have. And the leader of the Red Skull, Kailan Genren, seems to have surpassed the late heavenly man realm. What's going on? The figure of the old man came, with countless strong men behind him. At this moment, the faces of the major families in the capital and the other major organizations all changed. Are the people in the inspection office crazy? They actually all went out? Li Chen, it seems that a sneak attack will not work, the old director Long Zhan said to Li Chen. It's a pity. I should have known not to sneak attack him earlier. Li Chen smiled at the old director.